Good morning. My name is Wesahana Pearson. I'm recording for Black Asia Magazine. I'm talking to a Ghanaian woman who currently lives in Malaysia, whose name is, well, I'll let you get started with that part for the interview. So for the folks who are watching us, can you please tell us your name?
My name is Zoe Maria Dadson
Okay.
from Ghana,
All right. Where in Ghana are you from?
Takoradi.
Takoradi.
It's a city in the western part of Ghana.
Okay. And coming from Takoradi, can you tell us a bit about what it was like growing up there? Can you try to give us a picture of your background being from Takoradi?
Okay. Takoradi is well, back then it was a small city, and sort of like everybody knew everybody. Well, not everybody, but most people knew other people. So going around was quite easy. I mean, you could be walking down the road and someone would just look at you and say, "When you go home, tell your mom I said hi."
Okay.
Just by looking at your face, they can recognize who your parents are, that sort of thing. But yeah, parents were quite strict then, and we were not so much focused on technology as the kids of today are. So it was more of outdoor play, more socializing compared to now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that gave kids before an advantage in some ways over children nowadays.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So you come from Ghana. Right now you are in Malaysia. Where else have you traveled to?
In Asia, just Thailand, and I lived in Indonesia and Singapore, but I've been to some countries in Europe, North America, and in Africa, only Angola, and Cote d'Ivoire. That's it.
Okay. So the only place you've lived for any length of time, places are now Malaysia and also Indonesia.
Indonesia, yeah.
Okay. What was your experience like being a Black woman in these different places?
It was a big shock when I moved here at first. It took a while to adjust because I noticed a lot of Black people were discriminated here. I think a lot of people have bad experiences with Blacks, so it's been generalized. So every Black person is supposedly up to no good in Asia. So even finding a place to stay, getting a rental agreement, open a bank account, it can be quite tough.
Okay. All right. Looking at that for a very brief moment, it's tough. Did you find it completely impossible? Or what were the kind of hacks or workarounds that you figured out for dealing with those situations, like getting a rental agreement or maybe eating out at different restaurants? Or is there anything that you kind of figured out as a way to do to live better and to be more stable in these places?
With a tenancy agreement and all that, fortunately, the company that brought me here was able to handle it as compared to other people I knew who were struggling. And I became more of an introvert living here initially because I realized sticking to the four corners of my house was safer for me. Because sometimes I walk to a pharmacy, and there was this particular pharmacy I used to go to, I think at least once a week. And the security guard practically used to stalk me there. So whichever aisle I was in, it's like I take a step forward to the next aisle, he's walking along with me. And it happened over a year. It's the same dude, like, you know me, I'm not gonna stay.
Yeah, that happens. Now, talking about combating situations like that, is that the only pharmacy you can go to? Is there another pharmacy where you can say?
It was the closest. It's the one that had the thing. I didn't care if he wanted to follow me. That's why I wanted to continue going. So we took a stroll each day and went.
So what I would say is go where they appreciate your business. If they're going to start, even if this place is a little bit farther down the road, if I have a rapport with those people in there, I'll go there and give them the privilege of using my money.
Then it was just that dude, the cashiers and everybody else was okay. So I wasn't gonna let him ruin my shopping experience.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, we discussed very briefly about the kind of work that brought you to Malaysia, where you are now. How did you land that job? And can you describe what kind of work you're doing officially as a corporate person?
I did my master's in oil and gas management.
Okay.
So after I went back to Ghana, I got a call out of the blue one day asking if I was interested in a job in Malaysia. I mean, I'd heard of Malaysia, but I'd never actually thought about Asia in that aspect. So I agreed, and interview followed, and they handled the work permit and whatnot. It took quite a while, and I was brought in initially to train for a year and then return to their office that they were planning to set up in Ghana. And then the 1 year turned into 2 years because it went well. They decided to allow me to handle local content for the African countries they produced in.
Okay. All right. So the 1 year turned into two. Was that due to COVID, or was that just things
So that
internally?
was way before COVID.
Okay. All right. So your major was oil and gas. Do you have to be, for the kind of work you're doing, does it have to be that? Or what kind of backgrounds are they looking for with that particular company that took you to Malaysia?
Well, for them, it didn't have to be oil and gas, but it helped because I had worked in an oil and gas sector in Ghana before going to do my master's. So that coupled with my master's, and they were new to Ghana. So it sort of like helped to have somebody with both knowledge
Mhm.
to work
Okay.
for them. But for the others, it didn't necessarily have to be oil and gas, but as long it could be human resources, logistics, whatnot. But as long as you brought something extra to the table, so it could be speaking an extra language, so it helps them in entering another country they want to enter.
Okay. And this company is based in Malaysia that you work for now.
Malaysian, used to work for Malaysian company.
Okay. Very briefly, you're raising a family in a different country. And as you mentioned to me before, both you and your husband are actually of Ghanaian origin.
Mhm.
And so your child is Ghanaian, being raised in a different country and different culture. How do you feel about that? Giving your child an education, giving your child a sense of self, giving your child information about their own heritage, where they came from, outside of where you came from. How does that work? And because I understand your child is quite young now, how do you see that playing out as far as you giving him a sense of his own identity?
I actually have two kids,
Okay,
and
okay.
yeah, it's not been tough raising them. Initially, I was worried, maybe because they're still young, so kids at that age don't really differentiate much between color and people.
Mhm.
So as of now, they seem okay. Initially, when we moved from Indonesia, my daughter was a bit hesitant to approach people of color. I think she
Mm,
was just used to Asians.
okay.
So then we realized maybe it's something we are not doing right. We should try and introduce her to more people who look
Okay.
like us, like so
Uh,
that they embrace other cultures. But it it helped because then we were forced to try and meet other Africans, other non-Africans, but of dark skin.
mhm.
And now she's comfortable. Like she would see even an Indian and point and say, "Daddy, that looks like you."
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's getting there, but there are pros and cons. So like, yeah, getting to know other cultures. You're learning Mandarin,
Okay.
which is a big plus. Yeah, so we're getting there. Heritage wise, gradually as they grow, we will hopefully be able to introduce more to them. But they're just 4 and 3, so
Okay. All right.
they're
Quite
good enough.
young.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very good strategies. Um, Now, you, as aside from being a corporate person, you also are an entrepreneur, or maybe a budding entrepreneur, we can say. You Can you please explain to us what your business is, what kind of products that you sell and promote, and who you're marketing to?
Okay. I've been in Asia for years, and more than 5 years, and I realized they put in extra effort into their skincare
Okay.
compared to where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
So I decided to give it a try. But then you go to the shops and the products are marketed towards lighter skin,
Right.
or it has phrases like skin brightening, skin lightening. So I was a bit hesitant to use it. So
Okay.
then it took me a while to find the right stuff to test and try. And I grew to love it. I realized there are certain ingredients that actually do work on my skin compared to the sort of ingredients we have back home that were not working on my skin. So I decided I want to introduce a skincare brand for Black women that targets our main concern, which is hyperpigmentation, which I also face.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why I decided to start La Viel Beauty.
Sorry, tell me again the name of your company.
La Viel.
La Viel.
Yeah. Love your skin.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I'll put the links to that in the description and everything. Just to touch on what you said for a brief moment, the skin lightening craze. I understand that there might be kind of the same thing in Africa. There's definitely the same thing in the Caribbean.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's not, from what I see, up to the level that you see it in Asia. In Asia compared to Africa, it's on steroids. And from what I've seen. And so is there a connection between the way they view darker skinned people, the way you might be followed around in stores, and their perception of beauty and light skin and how important it is to be light skinned? Is it coming from that? Like they think, like, you know, having lighter skin makes you somehow superior, and having darker skin is not as attractive, not as favorable, and that informs the way that they treat and associate with darker skin or Black people. Is there a connection, or is there no connection?
I think to some extent there is a connection, but I also blame the people back home, because you would even meet somebody who is lighter skin and you'll be told she wants to use a particular product to maintain her light skin. She doesn't want to get any darker. So she has to find a particular product that maintains the lighter skin because she thinks lighter skin is more beautiful. Darker skin is not appreciated in Ghana, in Nigeria, mainly in Africa. So to them, they have to go to the extreme lengths of, I mean, some are already light skin and they want to maintain, okay. Some are like me and want to come even lighter.
How do we kill that? Because I think, should we kill it? Coming from the American perspective, being born and raised in New York, I can say that amongst African Americans here, I would say there is colorism, but it's for women more. If like for women, it's associated with beauty. Now I have friends who are men who are lighter skinned, which frankly probably got them into more fights when we were kids, because like the idea is that that's girly, you know, like I think Black Americans never 100% swallowed the whole like white worship kind of thing. I think I would say. I also would say anytime you want to be different from what God made you, you have a problem, and that should be done away with. How do we get rid of that? Or how do we kill the idea that something other than you is not beautiful? Or should we?
That is why I want to encourage women to love their skin. It's just a matter of treating your skin well. Your skin is beautiful. Like we do have dark spots, fine, but there are ways of preventing the dark spots or treating them. You don't necessarily have to convert your whole face into another color. That is really unnecessary. And Black is beautiful. Like hyperpigmentation is not necessarily the end of the world.
Yeah. Okay.
You have a few dark spots. It's you. Love your skin, basically. Yeah. So La Viel, it's trying to encourage women to use products that treat the hyperpigmentation. You can use sunscreen. You can use vitamin C. Like we have serums that you can apply on your face, and all these combat the dark patches on your face. Instead of just putting steroids all over to completely change the color of your skin.
Okay. And also it's not healthy if you can die from doing that long enough.
Yeah, you end up meeting older ladies and you could tell their skin has been through hell. Like you can see the knees and the elbows decided to remain intact, but then the rest of the body just went somewhere else. Yeah.
Korea. I see a trend in Korea. If I can draw a parallel or a triangle, Korea, Black women, skincare, and beauty care. These three things are connected. A lot of Black women now are starting companies, a few that I've seen, starting companies, building businesses that are centered around K-beauty. Is there something unique about Korea and the beauty market in Korea that makes it more appealing to Black women?
Koreans are known to have a passion for looking after their skin.
Mhm.
And that reflects in the products they use. They put in efforts, they use high quality ingredients. For instance, the patch I got is the high quality grade of hydrocolloid, and they don't settle for less. And aside the ingredients is the efforts they put in. They don't just wake up, use, cleanse and moisturize and out of the door like most of us do.
Mhm.
They make sure at night they double cleanse, makeup is completely taken off because, you know, having residue of makeup can even cause breakouts on your skin.
Okay.
So they go the extra mile. Some of them even have 9, 10 steps, like you cleanse, you apply this, you apply that, the whole thing. So I think that is what's making the whole Korean beauty appealing. The passion for taking care of your skin.
Okay. All right. It might be even part of their culture. It's definitely.
It is.
Yeah,
Right
okay.
from childhood, the parents start looking after their kids' skin very well. I read an article on that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So when I start wearing makeup, I'll come to you for a tutorial. Got it. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh God, give me so we can edit this out later. What I was going to say, okay, your target demographics. Who are you marketing to as far as the people you want to buy your products? Where are they? More in Asia, United States, Africa? Where are you focused on mainly?
But now my focus is Ghana and in the long run, Africa as a whole.
Mhm.
Young women range 25 to 45, because that's the age women tend to start looking after themselves properly. So once you're at it, you must as well take the extra mile about and look after your skin properly too.
Okay. And can you give us an idea of the structure of your business? How do you source your products? How do you get them out to clients? Has it been easy or difficult managing essentially a supply chain? Can you go into that?
Sourcing was a bit tough. The plan was Korea from the beginning, but Google wasn't helping, and all the contacts I had were geared towards China. So then for a brief moment, I went back to China. I sampled the products, but I still wasn't convinced. So then I continued researching and it just fell on my lap. Like I found a manufacturer based in Korea. I contacted the lady. She was really helpful, and that kickstarted Labial Beauty, thankfully. So the plan is to ship them from South Korea to Ghana for now, and mainly we'll be selling online. My sister is in Ghana, so she would be handling the situation in Ghana, and I will be basically handling the supply chain and what I can do possibly from here.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for
Black
having
Asia
me.
Magazine. No problem. Good luck.
Good luck to you too.
All right.
Thanks, Wayne.
No problem.